Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Brap Genius back again with another video. We're hitting some single track today with my boy Matt. It's gonna be a good day. Yeah, start it off right, boys! Yeah! Oh my god.
Hi, Mom. Sorry, not sorry.
Went on camera when I die?
Of course. Uh-oh, he made it 0.2 seconds. This looks kind of gnarly. Oh yeah. There we go. Oh, this is gnarly already, man. Woo-hoo. We're gonna see how this goes. Alright, but anyway guys, today's topic is gonna be how I got into riding dirt bikes. We're coming up on December now, and it's been a long time since I started riding dirt bikes. I got my YZ250, the first bike that started this channel, back in 2015, December 15, 2015. So by the time this drops, it will probably have been a year. Or it'll probably be up to that actual date. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about how I got into riding dirt bikes. And I chose today to do so because I'm with the kid that got me into dirt bikes. This way. This is some tight stuff. It's pretty wild. But yeah, my buddy Matt, the one who has that rebuilt YZ250, he is the one that got me into dirt bikes. And it's kind of funny how it happened. Like, I didn't even know him before I started riding. And then we became friends through riding. Woohoo! That was deep. Oh, this reminds me of home. All these rocky, tight trails. Oh, I lost him. He's gone. But yeah, so the story with Matt and I and how we became friends is we had a mutual friend and we ended up just hanging at Matt's house one day. He's like, yeah, you know, RJ can come through. The good old Brap G, he can come through. This is not private property, this is the Lost Trails. But yeah, go ahead, he can come through. And so, you know, getting to know the kid. Like, so what do you do for fun? He's like, oh, I ride dirt bikes. I'm like, dude, that's pretty sick. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I always wanted a dirt bike, but you know, I can't pay $8 grand for a brand new dirt bike. He's like, $8 grand? Where are you paying $8 grand for a dirt bike? I'm like, well, you know, they're $8 grand brand new. He's like, why are you gonna buy a new one? I'm like, where the hell do you find used ones? And like I said, this was 5 years ago, so this is before Facebook Marketplace and, you know, all that. So that's back in the good old golden days of Craigslist. Woo! And all the sketchiness of that. So yeah, that was interesting. But so he's like, dude, I could find you a dirt bike for pretty cheap. And I'm like, well, how cheap is cheap? He's like, realistically, I could probably find you one for like 1,500 bucks. Woo! It's like we're riding back at home, boys. But yeah, I'm like, screw it, 1,500 bucks. You know, I could afford that. And you know, at the time, you know how most people are. They're like, yeah, I'll do that, and then never happens. I think he took me from one of those people. He's like, you know, he's probably heard a lot of people say they want to get a bike, but it never actually happens, you know. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he took me as someone that was just saying I was gonna get a bike, but I'm like, no, dude, let's make it happen. So sure enough, I'm getting to become friends with him. We start looking through Craigslist, and we find one that's pretty cool, right? Set up a date to go check it out. Oh, it's a gnarly little hill here. But yeah, so we set up to go meet the guy, right? Now at the time, neither of us had trucks. So the way we're gonna combat this is Matt had a 1981 CJ7 Jeep, basically a Wrangler, an old school Wrangler. And he's like, oh, we could probably just fit it on the back of this. And I'm like, dude, you're crazy. But he was keeping another one of our buddy's friends' bikes at his house. So we just took his and put it on the back to see if it would work. And sure enough, it fit. It looked so sketchy, and it was really sketchy. But we're like, well, if this guy's gonna let us buy it, we'll do that. So we go and look at it. Guy has in his listing, need gone. You know, my wife wants me to sell it. That's like a key sign for anybody. If your wife wants it gone, somebody comes to look at it, it's selling that day. You usually can lowball them pretty good. But yeah, so we go to look at the bike and we're like, all right, you know, should be able to talk this guy down at least a little bit. Wanted like 1900 for it. I'm like, dude, you're out of your mind. But you know, I figured if I can get him down to 14, I'd be happy. Yeah, he wasn't having that at all. In fact, he wouldn't even move on the price. So we're like, it's not happening today. As much as I wanted that bike, it just was not meant to be. Matt told me, he's like, look, man, just cut your losses. So that's what we did, and then we ended up finding another guy with my first YZ250. And this time we were a little bit smarter. We had the original friend that was mutual that we met up with. Let's go down this way. But yeah, we had the original friend that we met up with. He had a truck. So the mutual friend that Matt and I had, we just went with him, looked at it, and yeah, we ended up getting the bike. And from there, you know, Matt and I just became really good friends. You know, we both loved riding dirt bikes. And I learned in a harder way than most people do. I started out in some pretty tough terrain, but I believe that makes you a better rider down the road. You know, you're gonna have to deal with it eventually, so if you could suck it up and learn it sooner, you're gonna have a much easier time down the road. So Matt and I have now been riding together for 5 years, and we've been friends for like 5 years, which is, it's pretty dope, man. Woo! That should not, if all the places to go down, that would have been the absolute dumbest. But yeah, then we got into street bikes together, and you know, we really grew from there. So yeah, he's had that same dirt bike now for like 6 years. You know, I've gone through a couple different dirt bikes because I wanted to learn what was right for me, and it's funny, now we both have the same year YZ250, pretty much the same exact bike. So it's pretty funny how things work out. And one thing I will say, just from my years of riding now, is try and find a bike that you think you're gonna like long term, because if you can learn that specific bike, I think you're better off in the long run than you would be switching bikes every year or two. Because like I said, I've owned like 4 dirt bikes now, and you know, I'm glad I went through because I found out what I wanted. But I know pretty much now I would have been happy with this from the beginning. So I really should have just started, maybe not with a YZ250, but after my YZ125, I really should have gone up to a YZ250. I think that would have been my happy spot. So, hey guys, that's pretty much it for this one. That's how I got into riding dirt bikes. If you guys like this video, let me know by hitting the like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. And you guys have a great day as always. Peace.